Welcome to the Chesapeake College Athletic Hall of Fame Class of 2020 Induction Celebration. It is my pleasure to introduce our first inductee, Dr. Stuart Bounds. As president of Chesapeake College from 1997 through 2008, Dr. Bounds led Chesapeake College at a time of athletic excellence. A strong supporter of Chesapeake's athletic programs, Dr. Bounds also championed the college's student athletes, encouraging them to pursue success in their chosen sports and in the classroom. Our director of athletics, Frank Szymanski, shared that Dr. Bounds was a fearless leader who encouraged a clear vision, accountability, and a strategic plan. We greatly appreciate the support, guidance, and leadership Dr. Bounds presented to all student athletes and the entire athletic staff. It was a pleasure to be a part of his team. At this time, I welcome Dr. Stuart Bounds to the podium to receive this award.
Kamari, thank you. Let me first of all, thank Frank for that very generous series of comments there, but also thank everyone who had a part in nominating me and in encouraging all my work on behalf of the athletic program here. Probably don't know, many of you don't know that, I came to the college a long time ago in 1984, and I came from the Virginia Community College system, and they had no intercollegiate programs whatsoever, and that's kind of what I knew about intercollegiate athletics in community colleges. When I came to Chesapeake, I was amazed at both the scale and scope of the athletic programs, particularly for a small rural community college. But more importantly, I was impressed with the quality of the programs. Maryland in general had an outstanding intercollegiate program throughout the community college system. And Chesapeake stood really, certainly in the top tier of those programs, in spite of our modest size compared to our brethren across the bay. I really think that I learned over the years that intercollegiate athletics wasn't so much about the success of the programs, although for sure we had success here at Chesapeake. It was really about the difference that the programs made in both providing access for students who I'm not sure would have come to Chesapeake without the programs. So it certainly brought us some students that helped bring diversity to the campus. But I think more importantly what it did was it served as an ongoing vehicle to reinforce their commitment to the institution. Later, as president, I often commented during various programs relating to the college's success that community colleges, I think, got it right. I think we knew that the importance of intercollegiate athletics wasn't so much just about our success in terms of winning or, in fact, the alumni support that it might bring to the campus. What we got right was we put our priorities with our students. And I saw firsthand the success of our programs in keeping our young men and women in school, keeping them motivated to participate not just in the athletic program, but throughout activities on campus. Kamari mentioned Frank Szymanski earlier, an outstanding athletic director, and I was privileged to work with him. The thing that impressed me most about Frank and his staff, all of our coaches, was their commitment to student success. And so that just doesn't happen easily. I can tell you that the demands of intercollegiate athletics on students is significant. And for many, it's too much. The needs in terms of being prepared and being successful in the athletic program, and at the same time being successful in your academic commitment. What made us different, I think, is that we had that commitment throughout the institution, but particularly on the athletic staff itself. And I certainly credit Frank for that leadership, but it was true of each and every one of our coaches. And so it was easy for me to celebrate the success of our programs because I saw day to day the difference it made in bringing students to the college who would not otherwise have been here, and more importantly, having them stay and complete their chosen area of study. My last comment in this area would be that much later in my career at Chesapeake, and you know I said I started in 1984, so you can start adding up the years, but much later there was a point at which our baseball team record was such that we ended up in the World Series. And that was really something for a small rural community college. And I think one of my proudest moments was when the team came back from their terrific experience out west in the series and presented me with a baseball, a signed baseball. Every member of the team had signed the baseball. And I put it on a shelf just behind my desk. When I left the college and retired, I left that for my successor. I left it there as a reminder, not really just about our success in baseball, but more importantly about the difference that our intercollegiate program made in the work of the college, in the building of our student access, and more importantly, in student success itself. And so it was really a great moment for me to be the recipient of that. The last comment I'd like to make is I'm also an emeritus member of our foundation board. And I'm delighted that this year, one of the focus points of the Hall of Fame is to encourage each and every individual involved, and all of our alums and all of our members of the foundation certainly as well, to encourage them to give to the endowed scholarship program for our athletes that's named after our Hall of Fame. So certainly encourage everyone to do that, and I've certainly joined that effort today. So it's again my great pleasure and honor to be a recipient. You can probably tell by my presence, and certainly those who knew me well would second this. It was not because of my athletic skills, but it hopefully in part was because of what I learned about the difference that these programs can make in the success of our college, and more importantly, in each one of our students who come here. So thank you so much.
Our next inductee to the Athletic Hall of Fame is Miss Denver Clyde. Miss Clyde was a women's basketball athlete from 2011 to 2013. During her time at Chesapeake, Miss Clyde earned multiple accolades, including All Region 20 First Team, All Maryland JUCO First Team, NJCAA All-American First Team, Region Most Valuable Player, and Maryland Most Valuable Player. After her graduation from Chesapeake in 2013, Miss Clyde transferred to Bowie State University, where she made the Dean's List and earned her bachelor's degree in 2017. Unfortunately, Miss Clyde was unable to be here today, so we will accept this award on her behalf. I am pleased to introduce our next inductee to the Chesapeake College Athletic Hall of Fame, Mr. Patrick Hambleton. Mr. Hambleton came to Chesapeake College from St. Michael's High School. He played on the 2008 and 2009 Chesapeake College soccer teams and was captain of the team. The 2009 soccer team had the highest winning percentage in school history. He graduated from Chesapeake College in 2010 and transferred to the University of Maryland College in 2013, where he earned a bachelor's in business administration with a 4.0 GPA. Mr. Hambleton has been the head soccer coach for St. Michael's High School since 2011 and is the 1A East Region Tournament Director for the 1A State Tournament in soccer. Mr. Hambleton is a commercial waterman and is a realtor for Benson and Mangold Real Estate. Frank Szymanski, the athletic director, had this to say about Patrick. He was a leader, a talented player who played with a refuse to lose attitude, a captain who led by example, a great teammate, an excellent student, and fully committed to Chesapeake College and its mission. Mr. Hambleton could not be with us this evening, and so we will accept this award on his behalf. It is my pleasure to introduce our next inductee to the Chesapeake College Athletic Hall of Fame, Mr. Jimmie Jenkins. A native of Washington, D.C., Mr. Jenkins played basketball for Chesapeake College 2010, 2011, and 2012 and 2013 season. He was named National Player of the Week, All JUCO Second Team, and All Conference First Team in 2013. He graduated from Chesapeake College in 2013 and transferred to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. He is the CEO and co-founder of Manpower and the Garden School in Washington, D.C. I'd like to invite Mr. Jimmie Jenkins to the podium to receive this award.
I am honored to receive this legacy acknowledgement. I would like to thank God, my wife, my parents, my kids, my family, and friends. Growing up in Southeast Washington, D.C., life has been difficult. It is a consistent effort and hard work to keeping up with daily life, while at the same time trying to find a better life for me, my family, and my community. My reality may be different from many of those I encounter every day for work and for business, but it's mirrors of many of my friends, born and raised in violence-filled, forgotten neighborhoods, lack of father figures, exposed to all levels of drug dealing, drug abuse, and violence, dreaming about my funeral and death before having the opportunity to live, and being judged because of what I look like and where I live. My vehicle to change was sports, specifically basketball. The path to a different reality, hope, success, life beyond 18 was cleared by the opportunity to play sports. I was one of those young men that caused problems. Many labeled me at risk, but in all reality, I was at opportunity. I was the young man that many, including those in my school, said I would not be anything in life, and that I would only accomplish failure. I know many people from my past wouldn't believe that I'll be standing right here today speaking, acknowledging the fact that I'm receiving an award in Chesapeake College Hall of Fame. See, Corinthians 1:27 says, "But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong." After being out of high school for 2 years, through my God-given talents and abilities to work hard and be dedicated and committed to something for the first time in life. I was granted the opportunity to come play basketball here at Chesapeake College. We're deciding to continue my education. I did not know what to expect or have high expectations for myself outside of basketball. My mindset quickly changed when I met various staff members here at Chesapeake who became family, who all cared about my well-being. Being a student athlete at Chesapeake allowed me to take advantage of a variety of opportunities. Things such as tutoring sessions in the library, which allowed me to become a better student academically. The work-study program, which allowed me to work in order to pay my housing and bills. And lastly, networking. I was granted the opportunity to meet so many people who played and still play important roles in my life in order to be successful. One of my favorite memories during my tenure at Chesapeake College was the day we had to take pictures for an article Mr. Midcap, it's a great man right there, was publishing on my behalf. I had been just announced as National Player of the Week. Thank you, Coach Frank. Thank you, Coach Mitch. Thank you, Coach D. And my second week back from being out on academic probation. Thank you, Ms. Bowser, Mr. Potter, Ms. Harriet. It was one of my favorite moments because I was able to tell each of the phenomenal people that played major roles in my life at Chesapeake, thank you. And taking pictures with them as well, in the moment, it registered me that no matter the circumstances, there's always an opportunity to change for the better. And I just want to thank Ms. Laura. She wasn't there when we took pictures with Ms. Don and Ms. Mindy. Ms. Laura wasn't there, she was out that day, but I want to thank her and the whole financial aid office. They played a major role as well. And then I also want to thank Coach Mitch. He's been a huge supporter since day one, and also Coach D as well. Definitely appreciate those guys, and definitely Coach Ralph as well. I hope to be able to impact future Chesapeake College student athletes by encouraging everyone to give to the Chesapeake College Athletic Hall of Fame Scholarship. Show future Skipjacks that we believe in them, and we are here to help them achieve their goals. I would like for every student athlete to have the educational opportunities, support, and network of people who believe in them, just like I did. The village is what we call it. After Chesapeake, I was more than prepared to become a father and a productive young man in my city, Washington, D.C. The tools I obtained as a student athlete at Chesapeake College has allowed me to come back to my community to inspire, impact, and inform my family, friends, and generations to come. In closing, I always tell our student athletes back home that your situation today doesn't predict your future outcomes. Accept where you are, be humble with success, and always remember to pray and believe in God. Thank you.
Our next Athletic Hall of Fame inductee is Mr. Toni Riggi, assistant baseball coach from 2002 to 2014. During his tenure, Chesapeake's teams traveled to prestigious tournaments, including the Region 20 tournament and NJCAA Division II World Series. Frank Szymanski had this to say about Mr. Riggi. Loyal, passionate, competent, are the three words to best describe Toni Riggi as a baseball coach at Chesapeake College. A tireless coach who brought a positive attitude to every day. His commitment to the student athletes and the college was impressive and appreciated. His knowledge of the game and teaching style always kept the players engaged and improving. He was willing to do whatever it took to assist with player development in all areas, including academics, athletics, and social. I would now like to invite Mr. Toni Riggi to the podium to accept this award.
I would like to thank the Chesapeake College Athletic Hall of Fame Committee for this honor. This is a big deal for the 8-year-old whose first team at the Marydale-Hartley Little League didn't win one game, or the 100-pound freshman at Dover High School who on March 1st, 1990 at 3:15 in the afternoon anxiously decided to turn right to go to the gym for JV baseball tryouts instead of left to go to the bus home. Or the young man who had 14 at-bats in 3 years as a member of the Delaware State University Stinging Hornets baseball team. I understand that I am the first inductee as an assistant coach. Webster defines assistant as a person who assists or serves in a subordinate position, a helper. Coach is defined as an instructor or trainer as of athletes, actors, singers, etc. I'm sure there are more, but I have 3 definitions for an assistant coach. First, as a coach gaining experience with aspirations of becoming a head coach. Second, is someone who has been a head coach and wants to continue without the responsibilities of the top job. Third, is someone who is loyally committed to the ideals and direction of the program while remaining behind the scenes. For 12 wonderful years, I fit into that third category. From day one in August of 2002, I was committed to Coach Szymanski's philosophies. He ran and continues to run the type of program where the team is greater than the individual, where integrity is greater than the numbers of wins and losses, where the top priority using the short amount of time with these athletes was not only to make them better players and better students, but to create better citizens. I take this as such a high honor. As much as I love the strategy and intensity of the games, I received real pleasure in the countless hours of practice. The repetition, teaching the fundamentals, the batting practice, tee work and soft toss, the art of bunting, the bullpens with both the pitchers and the catchers, the defensive drills, the drop step and fence drills, the relays and the ground balls, and the backup drills. But one of my all-time favorite things to teach was base running. Taking the correct angles, reading the throws, taking the extra base. It didn't matter whether it was the 9-year-old little leaguer at the winter camps or to the highly recruited freshman with 500 games experience. I wanted the player to learn how to do it correctly. I took great pride in being able to break some of these young men's habits they formed in high school or travel ball, where many times 100% of the emphasis was on winning. Winning however you can, win at all costs mentality, where shortcuts were taught, where Bush League plays were implemented, where cheap plays were celebrated. At Chesapeake, I got to teach these athletes to do it the right way, to play with the utmost integrity, and to play the peak way. Being able to do this for 12 years was very gratifying. I would like to thank a few people. First, I'd like to thank my parents, Sam and Betty Riggi. Dad was my first coach. Thank you for teaching me to play the right way. Thank you for those countless hours in the front yard, those years coaching my little league teams. My first assistant coaching job was helping my dad with a 13-year-old all-star team. He must have had so much confidence in me, he got ejected for the very first time in his coaching career on our first game together. Mom did everything. Thank you for coming to the games. Thank you for rushing me from school after a JV game so I could play on Dad's senior league team game that same night. Thank you for pushing me to work hard, and thank you for preparing me for life. I want to thank Coach Szymanski. You allowed me to be a part of this great program you were building. You knew that I couldn't be here every day and that I didn't learn names in the fall, but you were gracious and thankful for the time I could put in. Thank you for doing it the right way, and thank you for letting me tag along for all those years. And most of all, I'd like to thank my wife, Sydney. You put up with a lot for those 12 years. No weekends together from January to May. The long road trips, the weeks away. The times when we were rained out and you were stuck with me in game mode. Coming to Y Mills on those cold spring days to watch us play. And keeping life going during the season. I can't thank you enough. Thanks again to the committee. I am honored and humbled to be a part of the Chesapeake College Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Finally, we will be inducting 2 women's basketball teams to the Chesapeake College Athletic Hall of Fame. Accepting on behalf of the teams is head coach Gwen Barnes. In addition to her work with the women's basketball team, Coach Barnes was recently appointed Maryland Junior College Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Coaches Association President. Director of Athletics, Frank Szymanski, recently commented that this appointment is a great honor for Coach Barnes and well-deserved. She is an outstanding representative of Chesapeake College, an excellent leader, and a great role model. Coach Barnes' leadership reaches beyond the court, too. She works to be a mentor to her players and encourages community involvement. Activities include acting as campus host during events and volunteering on Habitat for Humanity projects. First, we will be inducting the 2016-2017 women's basketball team Region 20 champions. The 2016-2017 women's basketball team went 18-10 during its regular season and finished as region champions. The team represented Region 20 at the NJCAA Nationals. Members of the 2016-2017 Skipjacks women's basketball team include Chantelle Gross, Janice Ladson, Chandi Taylor, Natori Nesbit, Reeva Jackson, Emily Truitt, Shahra Madison, Deondria Wimber, coached by Gwen Barnes and assisted by Alex Barnes. Next, we will be inducting the 2017-2018 women's basketball team Region 20 runner-ups. The 2017-2018 women's basketball team went 16-12 and finished its season as runner-ups in the Region 20 championships. Members of the 2017-2018 Skipjacks women's basketball team: Toni Chiarella, Chandi Taylor, Amunique Newell, Claire Pritchett, Emily Truitt, Reeva Jackson, Natori Nesbit, Chantelle Gross, coached by Gwen Barnes and assisted by Alex Barnes and Marvin Cofield. At this time, I'd like to invite Coach Barnes up to the podium to accept this award.
To my teams, 2016 team, 2017 team. I wish you all were here in person, but due to COVID, I'm gonna give you a virtual hug. So that's my virtual hug to you guys. I miss you guys. I'm so proud of you and just thankful for the opportunity to have coached you. Those couple of years, we've had an exciting time together. It was a wonderful time of supporting our community with Habitat for Humanity. It was a wonderful time when you guys volunteered for Special Olympics. Those events I'll never, ever forget. I will always cherish the moments that we've had together, win or lose, whether we won a championship game or whether we won in the regular season. It's just always been a blast with you guys. And I still do keep in contact with you all. I know what you all are doing, and I'm proud that you are committing to work within the community. Some of you all have decided to commit yourselves to the military and serve our country. Some of you all have committed yourself to serving our community as whether it's a state trooper, police officers, or working within the government, or even now becoming coaches and mentors within the community. So that is a testament to what this college has brought in regards to resources to you all and how you persevered through the different challenges, how you were just adaptable to all of the challenges that we faced. And so again, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad to have this honor to present the Hall of Fame award to you. And as you all know, Coach Szymanski, if he was here, I'm pretty sure he would be giving you all thumbs up as well. But again, just thankful for you guys and just want you just to continue persevering throughout life as we always had our life conversations. Just continue persevering through life and continue supporting your community. Chesapeake will always be your home. And you can always come back and support. We would love to see you at some of our games and contributing to our programs. It's just a way to pay it forward to players now that are coming behind you. And you guys have left a very strong legacy and have left some big shoes to fill. And so, you know, we just appreciate you all from, I'll share some stories. Emily Truitt was trying to break my three-point record. She came very close to hitting almost 8 3-pointers or 9 3-pointers in a game. And we had, you know, just outstanding success with Shark, better known as Shahra Madison, who had about 20 points and 22 rebounds in a game. Janice Ladson, who became our #1 leading scorer with over 1,000 points for Chesapeake College. Deondria Wimber, who became part of our first and second Maryland JUCO All-Team. And I think just about everyone ranked in a field of some sort. Chantelle Taylor, who was ranked in our field of steals, was just a tremendous defender. Claire Pritchett, who was kind of the one that kind of helped keep us all together and just kept us laughing all the time when things were getting rough. Tori, who was kind of like our do-it-all, hitting from outside or hitting inside, was just marvelous, just a really strong player for us. Reeva Jackson, who we all call as Big Nasty. She was the one that kind of helped propel us to the Nationals during her freshman season and going into the sophomore season, just saving us at the last few minutes of a game. And her and Deondria and Janice and everybody that participated in getting us to Nationals just did a marvelous job. So for the members of the 2017-2018 Skipjacks women's basketball family, I'm not going to say team because we were a family, Toni Chiarella just was a phenomenal player who worked really hard, did any and everything that the coaching staff asked her to do. One of her highlight moments was hitting that 3-pointer in a game, and it just kind of sent the whole team kind of on a whirlwind, and it was fantastic to see her have that highlight. Chantelle Taylor, one of our stronger defenders. Amunique Newell, who's just fantastic to coach, just had just a wealth of energy, was our defender, our shooter, could attack. She had a highlight to where she was part of our all-Maryland JUCO team as well. And I talked a little bit about Claire Pritchett, and as well as Emily Truitt and Reeva Jackson, Natori, Nesbit, Chantelle Gross. Just thank you guys to the 2017-2018 team for getting us to where we need to be a second time. And so again, you're taking all of those skill level and just translating it now into the real world. So congratulations. Hope to see you all real soon. And please accept my virtual hugs. Tell your families I said hello. Please drop me a line or two. Keep in contact with us, and just want to see you at some of our games at some point in time. Thank you.
Good evening. I would like to congratulate each of our inductees to the Chesapeake College Athletic Hall of Fame. In addition to honoring the athletic accomplishments of our inductees, we are also honoring their service. As you have heard, each of our Athletic Hall of Fame inductees are passionate about giving back to our community and the communities in which they live. Our athletic director, Frank Szymanski, and all of our coaches instill in our student athletes the importance of community service while they are here with us. Our athletes volunteer at Habitat for Humanity, at the Ironman Maryland, Special Olympics Maryland, and Read Across America. This past weekend, our softball team and their coaches participated in the Rotary Meals of Hope event, where we packed over 96,000 meals for distribution throughout the Eastern Shore. Our theme for this event is celebrating excellence, cultivating scholarships. I am pleased that as part of the Hall of Fame celebration this year, the Chesapeake College Foundation is encouraging giving to the Athletic Hall of Fame Endowed Scholarship. Providing scholarship support for our student athletes is essential for assuring that they are able to pursue their educational and career goals. I can't think of a better way to honor the class of 2020 Athletic Hall of Fame inductees than help provide for these future Skipjacks. Congratulations again to all of our inductees. Thank you for being a positive role model for our current student athletes, and thank you for your service to Chesapeake College athletics and our community. Good night.
Congratulations to the new Athletic Hall of Fame members.
Congratulations!